We've got Martin Stillman, the coach of the Forest Hill side. Martin, you really came back into it in that third quarter. You're pretty fired up.
Oh, look, it was just, pretty pathetic second quarter, sorry. We just didn't, play with the intensity that we need to play with. I mean, Glenny Hawks are top of the side, top of the ladder for a reason, and you just got to match it in terms of work rate and intensity. So that quarter was more Forest Hill-like, and that's what I expect from the players, not what we played in the second quarter. I asked them to get within 2 or 3 kicks at three-quarter time for the game to be on and be alive, and now it's up for anyone who wants to win the game. So we're in it. See how we go in the next 30 minutes.
Good luck, mate.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Brett. Best on there, talking to Martin Stillman. Warrandyte and Donvale to continue on with scores in Division 3. It's Donvale trailing. Warrandyte 3-8-26 to Donvale 3-5-23. Whitehorse Pioneers Division 4 10-10-70 to Surrey Park 4-5-29. And a close one, Coldstream and Sylvan. It's Sylvan 8-8-56 to Coldstream 8-4-52. Back to you, Gavin.
So, thanks, Barry. Start of the fourth and final term out here at Central Reserve. The momentum firmly with the Zebras at the moment. Is going to his knees there as Gibbons. Demon goes by hand at Davis. His kick now out towards the centre wing. A foot race ensues there between Johnston and Gould. Gould wins the battle and gets the hand pass out now to his teammate Riddle, who kicks one in towards half forward inside the 50. Now it evades everyone. A bit of a one-on-one contest. It's in the feet now here of Cook. His handball over the top to Pickering. He snaps around the body and snaps it over the fence, out of bounds on the full. So a drive there from the Hawks to start this fourth quarter. 19 points the margin. Third term was all Forest Hill, and they're going to bring the footy back in now. And whoa, relief there from Forest Hill as Willoughby slipped and just took it inches above the turf in the back pocket from the restart. And he's going to pump this one forward. Well, goes in short now to Maguire. Good challenge there from Ammon. Gets it now here to Gross. His kick down in towards centre wing, and a good effort. Sliding in there was Pickering, that being of the Ben variety. He forces it over the boundary line for a boundary throw.
So we're close to the centre wing, grandstand side here at Central Reserve. Only a 19-point game. I say only because it was 44 at halftime, but Forest Hill had a great third term, kicking 6 goals to 2. And if they can get the next goal, momentum's a big thing in football. So that last goal from Glen Waverley with Broad, that's why if you can stop momentum with one the other way, that could just be what rescues Glen Waverley from that lead evaporating even further. So it's another ball up. It's towards half forward for Glen Waverley as they go towards the Waverley Road end. And Parthenides puts himself in good position. His punch has been sharked by his opponent in Davis. And Davis just loads up a long kick. Eddie's underneath it. He has to back into potentially a pack situation. But he didn't worry about that. Courage, kept his eye on the ball. And he took a good overhead mark. He's got a nice short on here. He ignored Potts.
Oh.
And he's a 25. That's why everyone stopped. I'm like, let's go after the ball, boys. But thankfully for Eddie, I reckon, that was going to mean Parthenides, the biggest man on the ground, would have to run after it.
That is the longest 25 metres, that penalty.
So it's now Glen Waverley trying to load up from the centre of Central Reserve, and Pickering runs into it. In position in front of him was Parent, but he didn't know Pickering was charging from behind to get front position and take a mark pretty much uncontested, 45 metres out straight in front.
And Gav, you have to mention his hairstyle, mate. He has a ponytail.
It's more than a ponytail.
Dreadies.
It's more than a ponytail. That's a big mop of dreadlocks. So Pickering, you won't miss him, and he skips into his left foot and puts it beyond 50. He doesn't mind getting the journey because he made it easy, and he screams to the heavens and says, we needed that. Goal number 3 for Pickering. Big goal for Glen Waverley. 13-8-86. Now back to a 25-point lead over Forest Hill, 9-7-61. We'll get some scores around the grounds before some special comments.
Yes, to Division 1 and East Ringwood and Norwood. Norwood 15-8, 108 to East Ringwood 7-12-54. In Division 4, it's Fair Park 7-7-49 leading East Boo at 5-5-35, and Kilsyth 15-14, 104 is leading Nuttawading 5-7-37.
So Glen Waverley just extend their lead There's a 25-point margin at the moment. Socket off the deck. It falls now here for Casey. He's tackled there by Murray. Appeals for holding the ball. Play continues. The kick up towards centre half forward. Now here for the Zebras. It bounces over everyone's head. Eddie was steady. Gets this back now here to Pickering. Had to get it in once at least this game. Out now here to Potts. He takes the mark and he goes by hand. Out now to the wing as Gould had 2 players to deal with. And the Hawks kicked this one in towards centre half forward. Flying at the back was Pincott. It just went over his head as sliding in there was Creek. Armin couldn't get foot to footy as the Zebras clean up and kick this one into the centre of the ground. And taking this one on his knees there is Davis. And he goes back and kicks this one out now here towards the flank. It's taken out there by Parents. He's had a pretty good one for the Zebras. His kick now in towards full forward. A good spoil there from Pitts as Cardamone was held. Well, Cardamone did the holding, I should say, on Pitts. And it looks like he's going to go by hand and play on now here for the Hawks. The kick up towards centre wing on the far side of the ground. And a good mark taken there by Cook in the contest. Just slows play down and waits for his compatriots to take their places. Here's the kick now looking in towards the half forward. A good spoil over the top there from Maguire as Dale does the roving now here for the Zebras. It evades everyone in the feet there of Murray. Picked up again there by Gibbons, and he's pretty well tackled and will have a ball up.
Eddie's been pretty pivotal in the past couple of minutes there, taking that mark overhead, backing back. And on the flip side, probably Parrott should have got in the hole and didn't quite get in there, or standing still. So, yeah, a bit more commitment from Glen Waverley.
So it's at Glen Waverley's end, but Pincott's got it. Close to boundary line, he gets a high up and under. It might allow his teammate to get to the contest, but it's a mark taken by Gould. He'd be a cold figure at AFL level with the double O in Gould. You'd be Gould. But he's now kicked it into the forward line where Amin's got it. Might be one more. Amin to Amin. He falls into the ball. Was he tripped as Adam Amin went for the ball? He picks himself up, goes again, and he's tackled to the ground. So we weren't going to get the repeat of Musa to Adam. It's a ball up 30 metres out from goal for Glen Waverley Hawks. They've seemed like they've settled their nerves and taken control again. Here's Amin being Musa, sharking the tap from him running into the corridor. He hooks it back with his left foot, but too much, and it's a minor score. Glen Waverley are 13-9, 87, 26-point leaders over Forest Hill, who are 9-7, 61.
So Creek to bring the footy back in now here for the Zebras. His kick finds Denham in the back pocket near side of the ground here for Forest Hill. Plenty of leads on offer. And they go in short. It's kicked now up towards centre wing in the direction here. Klein almost couldn't take it, but Gibbons couldn't take it on the bounce either. Parthenidi gets a handball back now here to Dunn, and he pumps it in towards centre half forward. And all alone there is Amin, and he takes it, plays on quickly. Chips are high up and under here for now for Sullivan to run onto. He spears one off the left in towards goal. And that's another one here for Ben Sullivan and another one here for the Glen Waverley Hawks Footy Club. 14-9-93. They lead Forest Hill 9-7-61 here. 7 minutes gone in the final term.
And that one, I dare say, is game over.
I thought not two before that Alana game was over. But look, you just got to look. You've got to admire the way Glen Waverley Hawks play their football. They take the game on. You know, sometimes it comes undone, but you know they try to play the corridor, but on other occasions they go wide as well. So look, their game. I think they've really got a good game plan. Barry Cotts scores.
Yes, got a three-quarter time score. Upper Furniture Gully 10-9-69 lead. Park Orchard 6-6-42.
Forest Hill get the centre clearance. They go long as they can. It's a contest with Dunn having two bites at it, but he didn't get the first, so he'll have to play on. He gets tackled to the ground. His hand pass gets into the middle of the corridor as Forest Hill try to claim the ball, or the holding a ball against the defender and Cruz. So Cruz will just hand it back to the umpire as he'll ball it up 40 metres out from the goals of Forest Hill. They desperately need the next one. They trail by 32. But it'll be trying to run out there as Glen Waverley, but it falls into the hands of Gibbons, who just puts a high up and under Cardamone. He's got four around him, and he's the little man in the high ball contest, and he's happy that Glen Waverley could only see it over the line for a boundary throw-in. So it means Forest Hill can reset in the pocket. Pim was going to get there late, but Cardamone, he was underneath a pack. And just, if you're watching the replay, Pim, I think, coming over the top of the player, trod on his fingers. So that's one of the worst things in football. Pincott wins the roving duties, but his kick into the goal square. There's only one man there to mark it, and Dunn takes it with glee, kicks it out wide and finds his teammate in Broad. So Broad, who kicked that great goal in the third term, is such a dasher. But he's going to try a very risk versus reward, a very risky kick as he goes on a 45-degree into centre back. Now it's been chipped off as Pincott gives it to the runner and Casey. Casey loads up from 40. It just misses on the right side of the post. And Forest still need everyone to go through the middle, but that's a minor score. 9-8-62, 31 points the difference as Glen Waverley are 14-9-93.
So Dunn to bring the footy back in now here for Glen Waverley, as he decides to go short up the far side. And the intended target there was Pickering. It bounces over his head, and Johnston can't get to it before it goes over the boundary line.
Was it touched before it went out? So it's a kick-in infringement?
Yeah. No, according to the umpire.
Well, I actually thought the defender himself touched it, so he can't really call for a out on the full. What do they call it when it's kicked out of bounds, even on the bounce from the kick-in?
I think it's still deemed on the full.
On the full,
I think.
Yeah. So boundary throw in, half forward flank now here for the Zebras. Stoneham won the tap, but Hodges won the footy. His kick now doesn't go too far. Davis is pursued there by Broad. Pretty good tackle. Gibbons can't take it cleanly. Davis gets a second go at it, has Broad all over his back, and will have a ball up dead on centre wing, far side of the ground. Unlucky not to get a free kick there, I thought.
Absolutely. So
10.5 gone in this fourth and final quarter here on Radio Eastern 98.1 or streaming around the globe at efl.org.au. Here's a handball there from Gibbons, a good one here to Stoneham. He pumps it in towards the forward 50. Dunn went straight through his legs. It's picked up now here by Parent. He gets cleaned up by Steinfort. It falls now here to Pim. He snaps around the body and he's put it through for another minus. No, he's not got anything, I don't think, but we got a free kick now, I think, after that.
Out on the full.
No, just out on the full. Okay, umpire was... Well,
they're blowing a whistle about something.
Yeah, it's
25.
25,
okay.
Yeah. So 25-metre penalty going now here to Glen Waverley. Looks like it's Cruz is going to take the kick. And not what the doctor ordered as far as the Zebras are concerned.
He'll be having a celebratory evening after his 100th game today.
He will indeed, as this one kicked out towards centre wing. Flying at the back, there was Sullivan, and he's taken a great grab. I don't think it was as good as Armin's from earlier, so we'll pay him the number 2 mark of the day. His kick now in towards the half-forward flank. Davis couldn't take it. It spills now through here to Gross. His kick now back the other way. Looking there at the intended target there, Parent. Did well to rove the footy, got tackled and held without it, and finally going to get a free kick. As you can see, the disapproval there from the Glen Waverley faithful. Not much to argue as far as I'm concerned. A kick over the top. And the Zebras are going to have this one through Taylor. His kick now in towards just trying to centre the footy. Pim was the target. It didn't get through to him. Gets to Sinden. He goes by hand to Ammon, who's playing in the back line at the moment. Steinfort's kick up towards the vacant half-back flank. Trying to take that one on the bounce there was Palmer. He did well. Evades one tackle, evades two, gets it by hand off to Owsley, back to Palmer. He chips this one in short, intended target. Cardamone couldn't get through to him, and the Hawks will clean up at the back now here through Riddle. Takes a bounce cheekily through the back line, kicks it back up now here to centre wing, and it's all Forest Hill. This one taken here by Maguire. He tries to centre the footy. 2 targets. So it looks like Taylor was taken out before he got to the footy, and play continues. Dale's in there, as is Gibbons, and that's going to be locked up for a ball up.
Well, that was an interesting piece of play, wasn't it?
It's play on at all costs for Forest Hill by the seams of it.
How's Riddle taking a bounce after 2 metres?
So Forest Hill need the next goal. They're trying to win it out of the pack. Denham couldn't break clear of a tackle. It's shared around from Owsley to Pincott. Now Pin's underneath it, but he's got 2 against him. They know he's the danger man. And at ground level, the Hawks have got it through Murray, who shares it out to Riddle. And Riddle from the back line kicks it long to half forward. It doesn't suit his intended in Ferguson, but unfortunately leaving the ball behind was Powell. but it's Forest Hill with some help who'll take the mark. The short pass into Davis was not paid 15, so it's a play-on situation, and the tackle that comes in on Davis means there'll be a ball up 50 metres from Glen Waverley's goals. Let's get some more scores late in all divisions of the Eastern Football League.
Yeah, in Division 1, Roval's 25 points up, 5 minutes to the final quarter against Doncaster.
So that'll be an interesting result. Top 5 positions online in that encounter. Ball up again, 50 metres out from Glen Waverley's goals. Forest Hill desperate not to concede. They trail by 31. Pincott's been good in the second half. Close to the boundary line, under a heap of pressure. Hand passes it forward. They can't break through, can Forest Hill. Now Broad picks it up. He's a dasher. He runs around one from the boundary line. He hooks it back into a dangerous hot spot, 30 metres out. Ground level, Amin gets it. He puts it to the goal square, looking for the goals. And the bouncing ball eludes Pickering. If he could only sit up, he might have had a chance. But it rolled end on end and out of bounds in the opposite pocket.
I reckon he would have liked to have kicked another goal, Pickering too. He seems to have enjoyed the goals he's kicked today.
He's got 3. Ferguson rucks from behind. Now Gould snaps, nearly adds to his tally, but he misses from the left side of the pack and misses the left post. So it's 14-10, 94, 32-point margin, with Glen Waverley leading Forest Hill 9-8-62.
So 15 minutes gone, this final term, and the Zebras trying to bring the ball back in as he comes the kick up towards the 50-metre line. At the back is Eddie looking for the fist over Gibbons. Goal goes to ground. Gross now on the outside of the foot. Well, his kick is straight down the throat here now of Cruz, who cruises into 50, puts one in towards the goal square. It's vacant. It bounces through for a minor score, and another point there to Glen Waverley. 14-11-95, leading Forest Hill 9-8-62.
There was a non-decision in the goal square, but I wonder if it went through the middle, if the umpire would have been forced into a decision, whether Amin was tripping over his opponent or what was happening. Anyway, the kick goes out short to Denham, who another short to Pincott's dangerous. Now here's Glen Waverley to mop up through Amin, tries to find Adam. Amin picks it up off his hand, knocking it down to himself, gives it off to Pickering. Pickering puts it in the goal square. Gould's there again. He'll go backwards with a 20-metre pass, and he finds his teammate instead of hooking around the corner. He had Broad in better position to take a set shot 40 metres out, straight in front. So Gould could have snapped around, and wouldn't blame him for having a shot, but he did the team thing and he found Broad.
Very disciplined, very, as you said.
Unselfish.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
So Broad, who just trying to look at the sheet before we look at it, has kicked 2 goals, and I reckon if there's an award for goal of the day, I'm already giving it to him. So for his third, he just sort of pokes at it, and in that effort just to keep it straight, he speared it off to the right and missed it. It's 14-12-96 as the scoreboard ticks over, and the lead increases to 34. Forest Hill 9-8-62.
He didn't need to kick that one, Gav. You'd already given him goal of the day.
Well, if he's getting paid per goal, he would have loved to got that one.
And to my delight, Roval's gone out to a 44-point lead over Doncaster.
Wow, that's probably Doncaster's first last quarter loss, if that makes sense.
Oh, Palmer took one touch too many, and he is Gonski. And, well, he's hearing it here from the Hawks, and we've got a bit of, we've got 2 separate altercations here, one on the boundary line, one on the 50-metre line.
I'll keep an eye on you if the play goes on, and you watch the fights.
So is the free kick going to go the way of Glen Waverley, and looks like it's going to be taken, it's coming back now. It was originally going to be taken by Timmy Cook. And yeah, that's just frustration there on the part of Forest Hill. But yeah, Palmer really shouldn't have taken a touch. So Cook from about 55 bombs one in towards the goal square. Plenty of players there. It's taken at the front there by Ferguson. Great mark. And he's going to go back from about 25 on a slight angle and possibly put the coup de grace here on Forest Hill's afternoon. He's already kicked 1 this afternoon as Ferguson. Been unlucky in terms of the accuracy. He's already kicked 37 for the year. Kicked 2 last time he played Forest Hill. Looking to equal that for 2018 as he moves in now. Goes on to the right, and and just sneaks it in, but it matters. It's the 6 points. That's his second, and Glen Waverley now hit the century mark. They are 102. They lead Forest Hill 62. 18 minutes gone, fourth quarter. Let's go to Barry Cotts at the Sports Camp Score Centre.
We've got a final score at HE Park, a reserve, the hanger out at Heathmont, and Heathmont have come back to win. Heathmont 6-9-45, defeated South Belgrade 3-4-22.
Good result for Heathmont, one of those top 4 teams in Division 3, and South Belgrade definitely improved over recent times. So we look forward to all the scores coming in, because there'll be some changes in top 5 positions in all divisions, but there won't be any change at the top of Division 4. Glen Waverley will keep a hold, and they will extend their sequence of wins to 10 today, as they win for the second time against Forest Hill. But there's still time, 10 minutes to go, so still some excitement left in this game. 40-point margin to Glen Waverley. Ball doesn't clear the centre circle. Now more players get around it. Glen Waverley just trying to get their hands on it, but Forest Hill are the ones breaking out. The ball on the bounce just gets away from Johnson, and he has to come in as a tackler. His hand pass was misdirected away from Parent. Now the ball comes back into a contest, and it doesn't break free of that half-forward tussle as Forest Hill look to get their 10th on the board. They've done well. They've outscored Glen Waverley in this second half, but Glen Waverley, when tested in this last term, have pushed away, kicking 3 goals, the only 3 goals of this term. Back of the pack, it's Newman who's got the ball, puts a high up and under towards Cardamone, who's smart, tries to push his player away from the ball, but it doesn't go his way. The clearing kick will come back with Forest Hill having all the numbers. Gibbons is one of them. He's kicked, he took his time. He had teammates riding shotgun, but he ignored them, and the ball got smothered off his boot. But it's still an opportunity for Forest Hill as Maguire gets his hands on the ball and keeps it in. As Gibbons, did he know what pressure he was on?
Oh, I don't think so. I think that might have hurt his foot too.
Just looking at him, he's absolutely spent though. He was spent before the ball came to him.
So there's a free kick off the ball, and it'll go to Parfenides.
Yeah, it was collected there by Newman.
He hasn't got any shorter, has he?
Shepherded off the ruck contest. So Parfenides puts it in the middle where Ferguson's got a one-on-one versus his opponent in Powell. It goes behind them, and it's now a one-on-one, 2-on-2 as Powell helps out his teammate. His hand pass under pressure didn't go anywhere. Jumping onto the ball was Denham, and at half-back he's happy to have a ball up. So it's Glen Waverley. They move the ball so rapidly. It's a feature of their play, and it's probably why they've dominated, just the way they're able to quickly move the ball with efficiency. Denham does some good work in tight, but he just throws a hand pass into the middle of Central Reserve. Ill-directed, but it finally comes out to a teammate in Gross. He spills it to a teammate, and now it's kicked towards the Taylor. Taylor gets it off to the runner in Davis. Davis loads up a long kick. Cardamone's underneath it. His opponent punches it away nicely in Pickering. At ground level, Cardamone's the tackler, but the player in front of him stops, props, and then falls forward after Cardamone comes to tackle him. And it was smart play by Sinden to get himself a free kick at half-back.
Cardamone getting played for a free kick.
Interesting. The dogs were barking, so there was a big moment then. It's in the middle with Murray. Murray dances around the man on the mark and kicks it long to Ferguson. He's in back position, body checks his opponent, and the umpire calls it against him. The quick kick goes out wide to Gross. He's not going to mark it at his ankles. Turnover ball to Hodges. Hodges will find Amin in 50, and Amin runs under it into the pocket, and he stops and looks at his options, and there's only one option for Adam Amin inside 50. That's goals. So he'll look towards the Waverley Road end and try for his third goal.
What a take that was by Hodges to pick that up with the spinnerama.
You just shouldn't kick it to ruckman down at their ankles, though.
Yeah.
So Adam Amin's now kicked 44 for the season in round 12. He's looking for goal 45. The sealer, if it was necessary, he signals to the crowd, we've had a good day. The top team dispatches a top 4 opponent, and Glen Waverley marching towards 10 in a row, now move on to 16-12, 108. Forest Hill stagnant on 9-8-62. So we were talking about a 44-point point margin, got down to 3 goals, but now it's back out to 46.
Yeah. No, they've certainly answered the challenge, Glen Waverley Hawks. But you just have a look at that. They're too quick, they're too strong in the air, and they just move the ball so much better.
Definitely their speed of movement.
Let's go to Barry Cox at the score centre.
Yes, I can tell you Vermont's heading for its second loss in a row, 22-minute mark. Blackburn up by 18 points.
Well, another surprise there in Division 1 is this a free kick paid. Pincott wanted to play on, but it's going the way of Glen Waverley. Parthenides going to be the recipient of the free. As he looks long down the ground, goes in towards centre half forward, and it's all Forest Hill. And they play on quickly now in towards back to Pincott, just inside the centre square. He goes by hand inside the centre and finds Davis. His kick now in towards half forward, finds Taylor. Taylor turns around right close to the man on the mark, going in the direction of Pym, but didn't read the lead. As Cardamone's wrapped up there by Steinfort. Did well to get the hand pass out of the end. Pym does the roving, tries to bust through one where the umpire's blown his whistle. And free kick going to Michael Cardamone. Well, it's something you wouldn't say too often, would you?
He was fighting for he slid under his opponent, then he started pushing him. He was working that free kick big time, wasn't he?
Yeah. I think Steinford, just as he got up, pushed him in the back, and that's what the free kick was
And
for.
a 30-metre penalty, too.
Oh, so this is going to bring... He's got the hamburger with the lights. Can't say the same for myself. It went cold before I got to finish it.
The only extra thing the umpire can do now is kick it for him.
So Cardamone looking for his third of the afternoon and his 41st of the year, and that's Forest Hill's 10th today, and that's just a consolation there. They moved to 68. They trail by 40. Glen Waverley 108 with 25 minutes played here in time on final term.
Alana, you look at the score, Forest Hill, they've kicked 10 goals today. Michael Cardamone, a small crumbing forward, he kicked 3 of them, but you would no way known say he's had a good day, because he has been absolutely, I think he's been outright beaten today.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think anytime he's been in front, he looks like having a chance, but he hasn't played in front
The delivery hasn't been
enough.
good to him, but usually Michael Cardamone does a lot more, but today he just hasn't been able to get it. But at the end of the day, he's kicked 3 of your 10 goals.
Let's go to Barry Cox at the score centre quickly.
Yep, final score Division 3, Ringwood 5-9-39 have defeated Basin 4-9-33, and Templestowe 12-12-84 had defeated Ferntree Gully 5-11-41.
Gee, you never write Ringwood off, do you?
And the kick for Glen Waverley out of centre, and Ferguson, once he's in front, he's got strong hands and he takes the mark. He'll be shooting for goal number 3 for his personal tally today. And from 40 metres out, hands on hip for Powell. He just said, there's not much I can do when he's in front. I can't beat him. And Ferguson took the mark.
Talk about being comprehensively beaten. Ferguson definitely has won that contest today.
Oh, yeah, he's outclassed James Powell.
So from 40 metres out, he hooks the kick, and this is his only downfall today, is the misses he's had from set shots. And it's another minor score, 16-13, 109 to 10-8-68. It's a 41-point lead late in this game, and Glen Waverley will keep their momentum top of the ladder.
So the kick out towards half forward. Good mark taken there by Stoneham. He goes by hand quickly now here to Pincott. Pincott just chips a little one into, it was dangerous, and it was red now, rode by Riddle. He goes by hand now here to Murray. Murray seizes the opportunity, and he's kicked it straight through the middle. And well, a comedy of errors there for the Zebras. That was the second goal of the afternoon there to Murray. Kicked one in the second. He's got one here in the fourth, and that just adds to the scoreline there. 1:15 plays 10-8-68 Forest Hill. 27 minutes played here in the final term.
I know Forest Hill, the siren can't come quick enough for them now. They're just, they're not even hanging in there. They're being beaten in every aspect of the game at the moment.
Glen Waverley got some smart forwards, haven't they? Murray,
Yeah.
he knew where the goals was, and it never looked in doubt when he put his foot through the ball. It was, once they run into open spaces inside 50, they're deadly.
But every time they get the ball, Glen Waverley, whether it's by foot or hand, there's 2 or 3 options.
Let's get some more scores around the grounds as we get to full time in most games.
Yep, Mirrabart 17-12, 114 have defeated Wanturna South 7-6-48.
So that would end Wanturna South's run for the finals.
Forest Hill get the ball inside 50, but there's no clear winner now for the ball. It's just hobbling around and players are jumping on it. The umpire will call for a ball up 40 metres out from Forest Hill's goal. So we're ticking towards, we've ticked past 28 minutes, so siren should be just about. And this has been a great last quarter effort from Glen Waverley. Again, kicking 5 goals to this end, away from the Waverley Road end, the opposite end. And Forest Hill have only had 1 consolation. Oh, sorry. Glen Waverley kicked towards the Waverley Road end, have kicked 10 goals today, so they've done well. Let's get more scores around the grounds, around the EFL.
Final score out at Bourne 21-15, 141, have defeated Montrose 5-7-37.
And Cardamone took the mark as it spilled out from the contest, and Cardamone another shot after the siren, as it's not a game-breaking kick at all. And Cardamone will look for goal number 4. Small consolation as they, at this very moment, trail by 47 points. He'll close the gap to 41. It's been a big win for the Glen Waverley Hawks. 10 in a row. At round 12, they are clearly on top, and depending on East Burwood, they might be a game clear. It's Glen Waverley Hawks 17-13, 115, defeating Forest Hill 11-8-74, a 41-point win for the Hawks. Goal kickers for the day. Amin kicked 3, so did Evan Pickering. Ferguson and Murray kicked 2 apiece. I'm not sure if it was Sullivan or Gould who kicked the goal in the last quarter, but they...
Yeah, Sullivan kicked 2 by my record.
And Gould kicked 1. Also did Musa Amin. So the goal kickers from Forest Hill, Cardamone kicked 4. Pim kicked 4 as well, 3 in the third quarter. Gross, Parent and Palmer with 1 each. So that is all the goal kickers for the day, but it's Glen Waverley solidifying their position at top of the ladder, winning their 10th straight victory. East Burwood were in doubt with Fair Park. We'll get that score if we can, and we'll get more scores around the grounds with Barry Cotts.
Yes, and I can tell you Blackburn have defeated Vermont. Blackburn 10-19-79 to Vermont 10-8-68. And in reference to the East Burwood game, East Burwood went down to Fair Park. Fair Park 10-7-67 to East Burwood 7-10-52.
Wow, that's a big result. So Fair Park, big win, but that means that Glen Waverley Hawks are a game clear of East Burwood, 2 games clear of Forest Hill, and depending on Whitehorse's results, they'll still be a game clear of the second on the ladder. So it's a big result for Ryan Flack and his Glen Waverley Hawks, and they are, without a bone of contention, the premiership favourites now for Division 4. So let's get some talk about the game today before we get some interviews from Brett